When we created our app, when we had the idea for the app, it was, the iPads were still a little bit newer. They hadn't quite taken off in terms of the way they have now. And I wasn't actually sure of how to utilize them in the firm. And I was actually with my IT team at a dinner one evening, and we were sitting at a restaurant, and this restaurant delivered us the wine list on an iPad. And that actually got our thought process going, because it's the first time we had actually seen a very specific sort of business-related application of the iPad. So the next day, we were all excited. We went to our marketing team and said, hey, we've got to figure out, what can we do that's different? We had seen a few firms that were creating apps that were sort of their website in an app form, and we thought that was kind of cool. But we wanted to do something really different. And when sitting in a recruiting meeting, actually I think it was a practice group leader meeting, we were talking about recruiting. Our director of recruiting was talking about reaching out to folks on college campuses and that kind of thing. We came out of that meeting saying, hey, I wonder if this is a great way to show that we're technologically savvy and to speak to this generation in a way that might be really relevant to them. And that kind of started the process. We actually did everything that you probably shouldn't do on a project, but nonetheless it was very successful. We weren't sure we were going to get firm buy-in, and we weren't sure that management would understand us. So, and it was a little bit more expensive than we thought that it was going to be. So once we found a vendor to develop the app, we decided to sort of split this project between the three departments, between IT, as far as budgeting goes, between IT and recruiting and marketing, and sort of kept the whole thing under the radar for a lot of the development process as to what we were doing. Once we had a prototype in place, then we sort of let management and everyone else know what we were up to, and by that time it was just so cool that nobody could really argue with us. So it actually ended up being a big hit. It was very, very creative. That was the other thing. We wanted it to be something really different. So we honestly haven't come out with any other ideas that are quite that creative since that time. But we also have, in the meantime, created a directory app, which has been really popular with folks in our firm, actually more popular than we had anticipated. Costs less money, simpler. I think one of the things we need to look at now is sort of how to maintain the information in these apps, which is a huge deal. So I think our next focus is on trying to figure out maybe easier ways to integrate information from our various systems and download into the apps, because a lot of it has to do with new attorney information or attorney bios or whatever, and we're entering it in a lot of places, and we're trying to figure out how to make that a smoother process. So in the longer term, we want to focus on getting more firm information into some sort of secure app format, business intelligence type data, maybe some timekeeping data, and so our next focus is more internally based, but we've had really good success, and we've had a lot of fun creating our apps, and everybody loves apps, so it's a win-win for us.